What's up, everyone? Welcome back to the regular podcast. Today we are doing our review of Obi-Mid or Obi-Wan Kenobi, the Disney Plus show. And welcome, boys. What do you think? What are we starting with?
Bro, look, man. Obi-Wan Kenobi was not mid. I heard a lot of people saying that it was disappointing, and yeah, it's mid or whatever. To be honest with you, I had a good time with the show. When I look back on it, I see it as a good show. Not Mandalorian levels good, but as good as they could have done, man. Honestly, they could have done better. To be honest with you, but I think it was a good show to me, at least.
For me, Obi-Wan was good. Like I feel like that's like the peak of it. Like it was good. It was all right. Like it really felt like that 6 episode event. Like you watch it, you enjoy it while you have it, and then you don't think much of it later. Like it wasn't mid. There were some low parts to it, but none of it's really bad. But there are I feel like the really good moments outshine the parts that would be called mid. But it was I would say it was pretty good in hindsight.
I mean, I really enjoyed it, but I think that there were some bad moments, but I think most of it was good. It was a I would almost say it was great. It was great. I'm
Mhm.
glad it exists.
Uh, yeah, I'm glad it exists. I'm glad like a project like this happened. I just wish it was done better. I
Yeah,
feel like that's the main like thing here. Like a lot of people are really forget because look, you remember every week when the episodes drop, people were raving on Twitter. Oh my god, this is so iconic! It's Obi-Wan is just great. It's like the greatest thing ever. And we were literally texting each other. We're like, bro, that episode wasn't even really that good. To be honest with you, like
yeah.
one thing happened. Oh yeah, Obi-Wan and Darth Vader fought. Yeah, we knew that was gonna happen. You're telling me that the thing that they
Bit-
said was gonna happen, they that's the thing that's iconic. That's the best thing ever. And look, I loved episode 3 and I loved the finale. Well, I don't think I loved the finale, but I really enjoyed the Darth Vader and Obi-Wan stuff. I really loved that stuff. And I love seeing them duel. But like, what was the point? Like, you could have just did that in a short film or like a YouTube video and just had the actors come back to play the characters. If you just wanted to get to the duel, like I don't understand the purpose of the show really, because in some aspects you can kind of see where they were trying to go for, but in the other aspects they're dealing with baby Leia, and I just don't understand, man, what they were going for
Me,
most of the
for
time.
me, the best part of the show was Ewan McGregor's performance coming back as Obi-Wan.
Definitely.
Like you could really tell, like he does care a lot about this character, and you like Ewan. He is Obi-Wan. Let's be real, he is Obi-Wan. But it feels like with this story, I love how they portrayed Obi-Wan. Like I like how this Obi-Wan, like he's not hopeful. Like this man is depressed. This man has
Yeah,
given up on everything.
but also he's still on a mission, so that I think that proves that he's still a little bit hopeful. He still dared to guide Luke,
Yeah.
whenever he gets old enough to train him and stuff. And I feel like that glimmer of hope, I want to say, makes it a better characterization of older Obi-Wan than older Luke. But I just love The Last Jedi, so I'm not going to
For
say
me,
that.
I felt like they could have did more with Obi-Wan. Like you're telling the best thing they have this 8 year period between New Hope and then where the freaking the I forgot what's Revenge of the Sith takes
Revenge of the
place,
Sith?
or what I mean to say
No,
is
no,
there's
no.
this 8 years
That's
between
18. That's 18
the
years.
show
Yeah,
and
between the
A
show
New
and
Hope. But even
yeah.
then, there's still those 18 years between Revenge of the Sith and A New Hope. And I feel like that's a very long period of time you have before he goes from Ewan McGregor to
Alec Guinness.
Alec Guinness. And then the best they choose is to have him babysit Leia. I'm
Yeah.
not saying it was lame, but it's just like that's the best you could do. Like
Look,
that's
in
the
the first two episodes, it made sense.
yeah
I feel like that would make sense. Okay, now the second episode, okay, you gave her back to Bail Organa. That's good. Now we can actually have another. We can
Yeah.
have some
and get to the
more.
Obi Wan.
Yeah. Did I
But
say Organa?
In all honesty, I think this show, the plot, I think it struggled, to be honest with you. Um, And what really carried it was the characters, which is
Yeah,
pretty obvious.
Hmm.
But the plot was decent, but it definitely
the plot was
it
good enough.
struggled it struggled to grab what we loved so much about those characters before and bring them to the now. Because when I watch Revenge of the Sith, I get a completely different feeling than when I watched this show.
I
Yeah,
agree.
yeah. It's just
Well, with Revenge of the Sith, it felt like a conclusion. I feel like with this show, yeah, there's like a story there, there's an idea, there's a concept there that you can tackle, and like in this short period of time between these 18 years. But I feel like Revenge of the Sith, it was a conclusion. It didn't have any loose ends. It tied up everything perfectly to go straight into A New Hope. That's what's great about Revenge of the Sith, that it concludes that trilogy and it makes way for New Hope and the rest of the original trilogy. But
yeah,
with this show, it felt like they had that concept, that idea, and they was like, okay, Darth Vader and Obi-Wan are gonna fight at the end of this season, at the end of this series, and then they just built the show around that. Okay, now we got to get to that point. They didn't really know like how to get to that point,
yeah.
so I
And
don't
being
understand what the
honest,
plot was.
I really do not care about any of the side characters in this show.
Oh
And
God, no, none of
usually
them.
that's sadly becoming a trope with these six part limited events. Like the side, like Leia's cool and all, but to be honest, like I'm mostly attracted to Leia because like I don't really care about Kid Leia. Like
Yeah, like
I
look,
don't
I think it
care.
makes sense.
It makes
It makes
sense.
sense
I just don't
why
care.
Kid Leia's there. I just don't care exactly.
I don't care about these rebels side, not rebels. These people that need to be rescued. Like it literally felt like they were there
All
to be. I don't even remember their names. Like how she was there so they could get into the fortress. Okay, could have done better with a character like Cal Kestis, dude who's been there before.
Kumail Nanjiani, what was his point of being in the show? I have no
Literally
idea.
just to be a celebrity cameo.
Just to be,
Silent. I don't even know who that is. Oh, you talking about that? Never mind. Never mind.
yeah,
Crap.
It's like the only characters I care about in the show are Obi-Wan and Darth Vader. And
that's what I
obviously,
came.
their scenes together are the best scenes in the show, and everything between that just feels like filler because that's what they want to get to. They want
Yeah,
to get to Darth Vader and Obi-Wan, and they should have constructed a better plot around that. But no, they wanted to construct a plot with Leia getting kidnapped across the galaxy, and then not bringing this up 8 years later.
The,
yeah,
the most interesting plot point for me, other than the Obi-Wan and Darth Vader stuff, that's obviously number one. But I really enjoyed the Uncle Owen stuff. That was probably the most intriguing to me.
Yeah, Uncle Owen was dope. He was good
the
for
hell did
that.
He's
Owen
probably the
do?
best side character. He was the best side character, I think.
The hell did Owen do? What did he do?
It was just the turmoil between Kenobi and Owen.
Oh yeah, the
That's
first
real.
episode. Oh yeah,
That was
that
super
conversation was
interesting,
incredible, bro. I
bro.
love that
The
conversation.
first conversation and the last conversation
So one
really
thing I
just did
felt
it for me.
disappointed
Yeah,
on
that was
was
incredible.
they marketed. I swear they marketed this show as this is Darth Vader in his prime. This is where you're gonna see the evil of Darth Vader. And it's like, well, the most she got was like he killed a couple people in a village, and then he tried to burn Obi-Wan. Like that stuff was cool. I love
Yeah,
seeing these scenes, but to
yeah.
only
But
have
why did
them a
he
couple,
kill Reva? Why did he kill her?
I don't know.
It's
I don't get Reva's
that
point.
was
To be honest, I didn't. The hate for Reva is completely unjustified because she's really not that bad. It's just what
you
purpose
bite
does
your
she
tongue,
have?
I, bro. For me, that's my big negative, bro. That's like the first thing that comes to my mind. Reva as a character. What what was your purpose to being in this show? Like, what was the purpose? Because what she got stabbed as a foundling, well, not a foundling, a youngling. She got stabbed as a youngling, right? By Anakin and Sith when he was turning into a Sith. And then 10 years later, she gets stabbed again by Darth freaking Vader, but she doesn't die. Like, I don't understand that. Like,
Eh,
she got stabbed
seen people
twice
survive worse
by
in
Darth
Star
Vader.
Wars.
You
Yep.
know, so there's been like many iterations of Darth Vader in all sorts of media, but I feel like what I end up doing is I end up comparing it to the Darth Vader that I saw in Fallen Order. That Darth Vader was
A menace.
powerful
That dude
and
was a menace.
scary. He was he had Cal trembling in fear. That's how powerful
And
he
like
was.
people,
When I
I wish
compare it
I
to
finished
this
that
one,
game.
when I compare it to this Darth Vader, I just feel like he's nowhere near that level.
Like,
like,
bro, who's in charge here, bro? It felt like
I mean,
Rava was in charge the entire time. Like, what?
you can call me a shill for cameos, but I really think this show would have been amazing. Like, I mean, it was good enough, but I feel like this show would have been amazing if it had Cal Kestis and Obi-Wan either on the run from the Empire or like somewhat trying to rebuild the Jedi, or just survive. Like for me,
I just wanted a small Cal Kestis cameo. It didn't have to be a big role or anything like that. Just a small one. Ewan McGregor even said something about making things match up to
yeah,
things that happen in video games to
because
make sure
they
it's
said
all
Disney
connected
said Fallen
correctly.
Order is canon,
He
but
just
they
would have been
haven't done
nice,
anything
and it
with
would have.
it.
Yeah.
Like it's such a nice, it's such a good piece of
I
media, and
mean,
it
I wish
fits
I finished Fallen Order.
it fits right into the
You've
time
got to
slot
finish
of
it.
Obi-Wan. But and I feel like they would
I would still.
have it.
Mhm.
And I feel like Cal Kestis would have been a character that people cared about instead of uh, what's her Hala, and then the black dude. I don't even
I don't even know who you're talking about.
the freaking
The
I don't
black dude,
yeah
bro, Ice Cube's son.
yeah Mini Cube. Like the side characters are so bad.
I've
But
already forgotten pretty
the
much all
show,
of them.
like, but the thing is, all this crap I'm talking, like, I still say the show is good solely because it was carried by Ewan McGregor and Hayden Christensen. Their dynamic,
But, but
Anakin and Obi-Wan, literally saves the show for me.
but even then, I feel like that was a complete waste of Hayden Christensen. You announced that he's coming back, and you only used him as a flashback in one episode, and the flashback was split out throughout the entire episode. I
He was
know he was in the
also in the
suit.
final. He was in the
I
final
mean, to
fight
be
and
honest,
in the
the,
suit.
the
I know he
most
was
they
in the
the
suit,
most
but
they could
like,
have did with Hayden was have him in flash. I mean, I predicted there was only 3 things they could have done with Hayden: flashback, him like with that mask half caught off in his face, and then him being in the suit. Like because of how Darth Vader was left off at the end of episode 3, there wasn't much they could do with Hayden. But it's just like
yeah,
I feel like they didn't do enough. Like with like I
like
would have they should have I feel like they should have had Anakin. I feel like they should have had like a B plot in flashbacks from episode 1.
right, exactly. Have a flashback in every episode. Do a little bit more teasing for Qui-Gon Jinn, bro. When Obi-Wan was trapped underneath the rocks, Qui-Gon Jinn should have came out then and
And
there.
to be honest, I didn't care that much for Qui-Gon. Like I mean, I
I didn't
liked it.
care.
I liked it, but I was like, all right, you got Liam Neeson back.
I didn't care because they didn't make me care. They teased him throughout every episode, but they didn't have Qui-Gon Jinn, Obi-Wan's master, show up at the time that he needed him. He just shows up at the end. Oh,
And then
I've been waiting for
all
you.
these years to finally get Hayden back as Darth Vader and Anakin. But the thing is, you just have James Earl Jones doing the voice, so like you don't even know it's Hayden. Like
Yeah,
you don't like you really only get him.
If we're being honest, there's really nothing they could have done about that.
it was nothing they could have
They
done.
but the only
Just
thing they could
bringing
have
him
done
back,
have a flashbacks and
and
the
like they've been saying in like interviews, like it's so much fun, like being together and being on set together. Like,
show us
guys,
that
that was just one. That was one scene,
show
right? Like it was one scene.
unless they cut more,
I understand you guys want flashbacks. We want more Hayden, blah 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 blah. And I really would have wanted that as well. But then again, we have to realize the show is about Obi-Wan Kenobi after episode 3. So
Yeah, after
they don't
keep
really
going.
have time to keep going back to learn more about Hayden and their bond. We already know the two characters' bond, right? And we
Bro,
know how devastating it was for Obi-Wan Kenobi. But
fair.
we're
That's
but
fair.
yeah, we know that. But also, I feel like in the prequel trilogy, we didn't get that much of that bond. In Attack of the Clones, bro, they were split up. In Revenge of the Sith, we kind of saw some of that bond, but we're just told about that bond because of the fact that Obi-Wan is like Darth Vader is Obi-Wan's like
no,
failure,
we've seen
basically.
plenty of that bond in the Clone
No, that's
Wars.
if you count Clone Wars. I don't like
Oh,
Clone Wars.
the Clone Wars, right? Yeah, the animated show, yeah, the Clone Wars.
The best Star Wars content ever made.
Mandalorian better.
Mandalorian is
But
better.
you know what? They should have just
Sorry.
had the Mandalorian in the 3rd episode. Complete just him. Where is he?
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Being real, it's just
Grogu
I
cameo.
went into Obi-Wan expecting Darth Vader at his prime. I expected Obi-Wan just having to deal with Vader before he goes and takes care of Luke. And
Yeah,
I
keep
just
going.
didn't get a lot of that. I did not want Obi-Wan babysitting Leia for 6 episodes.
Facts.
I did not want him caring about these rebels. I mean, it makes sense. Like, it makes sense why he would care, and it was cool because Ewan McGregor's really good at playing that depressed Obi-Wan, but he still has that. He still wants to help people. But it's
Yeah,
just
that
at the
glimmer of
end of
hope.
it, I don't care about the. I didn't care about the side plot or the side characters, and then I didn't really care about the plot because it was just boring.
Damn.
Bro, and then also some of the stuff was just laughable, man. This is gonna be my last point, but some of the stuff was just laughable. Like him hiding Leia in his coat,
That
bro.
was
And
that
I
That
was
was so bad.
that was so terrible. The chase scene in the first episode, it felt like a lot of things that they did with Leia was just so cheap, so terrible. Some of the stuff looked cheap and terrible. The I honestly, I don't want to say that this show was a disappointment because it wasn't.
no,
I
it
had
wasn't.
fun with it. Multiple
Like
times I text you guys when the episode dropped. Yo, this was fantastic. This was amazing. I love this. But I feel like the episodes were a roller coaster. It went up, down, up, down.
I feel
And
like
as
they were enjoyable as they were coming out week to week, but this is not something that I would watch back and be like, all right, yeah, this is
yeah,
amazing.
except for the lightsaber duels. I'm only
Yeah,
watching it to
that's
watch
the
Darth Vader
lightsabers
again.
and the best moments in the show were the lightsaber combat and then Anakin and Obi-Wan. That
Yeah.
lightsaber fight in the final episode was actually amazing. I love that. Because it's been
Completely.
so long since lightsabers were kind of used like lightsabers instead of
Like actual
heavy
swords,
swords. Like
like
that's one
actual
thing I
like
like about the
duels, bro.
prequel trilogy is like these people they're swinging fast, they're doing flips and stuff, going behind the back, and then you get to the sequel trilogy and it's
They're just
they're just like big heavy clubs, and I like that in Force Awakens. Like I love it the most in Force Awakens, but
but it gets old.
when it comes to Last Jedi and especially Rise of Skywalker, like they're just like heavy clubs and they're just swinging them around like they're heavy. But no, in Obi-Wan Episode 6, like it's good. Like it's really
Yeah.
good. Like it reminds me of prequel trilogy. So
Also,
those
it
were the
shows
highlights
how
of the show.
powerful Obi-Wan is.
Exactly. This means space Jesus.
But there's a version of this project, Obi-Wan Kenobi, and keep in mind, this was my highest anticipated Star Wars content right underneath the Skywalker Saga, the video game. This is my highest anticipated Star Wars content since 2020. But
They
there's a
were
version
both
of this
mid.
that was there's a version of this that was a 2-hour movie. They really just
I
stretched
wanted to
this
see that
into
movie.
6 hours.
I want to see that
That this
movie.
movie,
I would have rather
but
had the.
because Solo flopped or whatever, we didn't get that
I
movie.
mean,
I
of
would have been
course,
fine with just a
Solo
solo movie
flopped.
instead of a trilogy.
But thing
Solo
is,
is
you're
the
telling me people wouldn't go out to see an Obi-Wan movie? Are you kidding me?
I would, bro.
Obi-Wan
They
is like
said Hayden Christensen would be back. Ewan McGregor would be back. Come on, bro. People are going to go see that.
Obi-Wan is one of the most
Budget will be
popular
higher.
characters in Star Wars. Of course, it's gonna get people
Most
in movie.
definitely, that movie's getting $1 billion,
I won't
and
say
I
a
don't say that easy.
billion, but I'm gonna say it's this movie's making money.
No, it's gonna be easy billion.
It's easy billion.
Smooth billion. First opening weekend.
I mean, I can see. I wouldn't disagree with it. I wouldn't disagree with it.
But like, yeah, man. Any closing thoughts, guys, on Obi-Wan Kenobi?
Um, it was great, and I'm glad it happened.
Yeah,
Even
yeah,
though it had some downs, it definitely had its ups. And I feel like Star Wars is better now that we've experienced it.
yeah. That's fair. There was a lot of stuff I didn't like, but I was just happy to see Ewan come back to this role that he very clearly loves so much. I like to see Hayden Christensen back as Anakin and Darth Vader after like years. Like people back in the day, it was like, oh, Hayden Christensen sucks as Anakin. He's so emotionless, but now, oh, everybody wants him back.
Yeah,
And
everybody on his dick now. Yeah, just
I feel like
that
as a
has
whole,
to make
Star
me
Wars is
mad.
better because of it, but I feel like this show still doesn't reach the levels of The Mandalorian. But it
Yeah,
is great. So I'm glad it happened.
yeah.
What about Boba Fett?
Boba Fett was terrible, bro. I would love to say that I that is a great show. I just say that it's good. The journey with it for me was just rocky. Like I said, episodes go up and down, up and down. But I wouldn't say the Star Wars is better for it because it the show same way it kind of begins. He's in the desert by himself, going around. I
I
you know, I
understand.
I feel like Disney plus Star Wars is just like, they can't reach the levels of Mandalorian. Like they haven't done it since Mandalorian season 2. They just haven't reached those heights yet. And hopefully Ahsoka can do that. Hopefully Andor can do that. But Andor doesn't look that good to me, so that's just me. Obi-Wan was a good show. I'm giving it I want to say a B minus. I'll give it a B minus, to be honest with you.
I'll give Obi-Wan a B, a nice little
Give
7
it
out of
a
10.
Nice
slap
in the middle.
dab. I'm gonna give it a B plus because I watch Clone Wars.
Mm. L, big L, bro.
Watch
Not
Clone
gonna lie,
Wars.
I'm watching
Watch
Clone Wars,
Clone
bro.
Wars. Watch it,
I'm gonna check out Clone Wars, bro. I'm
Never
actually
touch
yo,
gonna check out
Rebels
Clone
though.
Wars.
bro.
No,
No,
I'm not touching Rebels.
you gotta watch Rebels, man.
No,
I
bro.
mean, it might be mid. It's kind of mid, but it's not mid at the same. But
No,
that's
bro.
neither
My
here nor there.
my good friend Cosmonaut Variety Hour told me Rebels is not that good, so
Get
Oh,
out of here,
bro.
bro.
I'm gonna get on
Hey,
that Clone Wars though.
but ayo, that Kenobi faking his death. Oh, fi. You'll see.
Ugh. Hey, you know what else is fine? Ending this podcast. So that was it for the Obi-Wan Kenobi spoiler review. Please know that everything that we did say in this video was just our very own opinion, and you are free to comment down below. What did you think of Obi-Wan Kenobi? Did you love it? Did you hate it? Tell us all of your opinions down below if you made it this far. With that being said, like, comment, and subscribe, and we'll see you all next time.